Morning, everybody. See where I am? I'm at school. Unfortunately, we are doing virtual because some of the roads are still icy and the sidewalks here are a little icy, and Miss Miles didn't want anybody to get hurt. So we are learning about penguins and we're going to do our lesson online today. So see what you can learn. There's some penguins. This is a nonfiction book, right? Which means that it has real facts in it. So we're going to learn real facts about penguins, and then we're going to write about them. What are they? While I read this. What birds cannot fly? What birds spend most of their lives in the ocean but are not fish? What birds live in the coldest part of the world all year long? They swim, they march, they slide through the snow. They are penguins. Where are they? They've got a picture of the southern half of the world. And it says, all penguins live between the equator and the South Pole. Some live where it's very cold. So there's the imaginary line that goes through the center here, where you've got the North Pole way up here, and then the South Pole down here. And so the penguins are all to the south. And it says some live where it's very cold and some live in warmer places like the coast of Africa or Australia. So here's Africa, here's Australia. We're way up here in North America. You can't see us. We don't have penguins where we live. Penguins live on islands, on coasts, and even on icebergs in the sea. They just need to be near water because they spend most of their lives in water. Brr. These ones down here live where it's cold. Then you've got Australia over here where it's warmer, and Africa and even South America is warm. Not just any bird. Here's our penguin, and it says penguins are perfect for their lives at sea. They have a sleek shape for speed and a layer of blubber to keep them warm. They have these flippers, right? And they've got a picture of a paddle that you would use on a boat if you're trying to row, and their flippers are stiff like that. It says penguins are perfect for their lives at sea. They have big eyes to see underwater, okay? They have webbed feet. That means they have skin between their toes, right? We don't have any skin in between, right? But they do. And that helps them steer. And then they have these layers of soft feathers to trap in the heat and keep them warm. And then they have stiff, oily feathers on the top to keep the water out. So they're made in a really cool way. And it says, this is a riddle. It says, what did the penguin do when he got upset? He flippered out. So when we talked about animals and habitats and stuff, we talked about camouflaging and how they protect themselves from predators. Those are animals that want to attack or eat them. And it says their black backs make them hard to see from above, and their light bellies make them hard to see from below. It's their strong, solid flippers that help them escape the predators to get where they want to go. Penguins can swim 15 miles an hour. And when they want to go faster, they leap out of the water and swim. It's called porpoising because it's what porpoises do. So there they are. These ones obviously live somewhere cold because there's ice in the background. It says, did the penguin leap out of the water by accident? No, he did it on purpose. What's for dinner? Do you see what's in his mouth? He's got a fish. It says, life in the ocean is fishlicious. Penguins eat a lot of fish. They have a hooked bill or beak to help them grab their dinner. Barbs on their tongues and throats help them hold on to slippery food. Would you like a drink of salty water to go with that fish? Well, guess what? Penguins are able to clean the salt out of their ocean water. They get fresh water to drink and the salt dribbles back into the ocean. So if you've ever been at the beach and you accidentally drink some water or it goes up your nose, it kind of burns because it's salty. You wouldn't want to drink it. It does not taste like the water in your water bottle, but they can get the salt out of it. They have a special way to do that. And the barbs, see the barbs on the tongue and throat that help grab onto their food? It says, what's a penguin's favorite food? An ice burger. So there's our penguin with his fish. And it says, while penguins are slurping down their dinner, they have to be careful not to be eaten as dinner themselves. Okay, see who's coming after them? Penguins are the favorite food of marine mammals such as leopard seals and killer whales. And marine mammals are ones that have fur and they give birth to their young. Unlike mammals, they spend most of their time in the ocean. Unlike other mammals, because we are a mammal and we don't spend most of our time in the ocean, right? So those are the ones they have to worry about attacking them. And penguins are in danger on land. Birds like the skua, the Australian sea eagle, and the giant petrel eat penguins. Okay, so there's that's a skua. And it says even cats, snakes, foxes, and rats eat penguins when they can. So they have a lot of predators that like to eat them. Life on land. Look at that huge group of penguins. It says colony, a group of animals who live together. So that's a colony of penguins. And it says on land, most penguins live in a large colony with thousands or even millions of other penguins. If it's cold, they huddle together. It's so warm inside the huddle that the penguins take turns moving to the outside so they can cool off. You know how if you snuggle your mom and get under a blanket, sometimes you can get really hot, right? So they have to move to the outside when they've been snuggling and they're on the inside. Penguins march together to get to their nesting grounds. And once they are there, they wave, strut, shake, call, they nod or dance and sing to find a mate. Most penguins stay with their mates for many years. And these are some king penguins in a huddle. A chick is born. Are they cute or what? Most penguins lay 2 eggs at a time, but often only 1 egg survives. The mother and father take turns keeping the egg warm. When it hatches, the parents keep the chick warm and fed. After a couple of weeks, hundreds or even thousands of chicks wait together while their parents go back to the sea to find food. As the chick waits, they are in constant danger from skuas, eagles, and other animals. Those are the predators, right? And it says, how was the penguins' walk to their nesting ground? Excellent. And there's some other chicks, because there's lots of different types of penguins. And there's another one. This one is a king chick. Finally, the parents return with food. They have to find their chicks in the huge crowd of baby birds. How do they do it? The baby birds sing special songs to help their parents find them. In a few months, the whole family returns to the sea. So there is one of the penguins getting food from their mom or dad. And it says, what did the mother penguin say to her crying chick? Stop blubbering. Okay, the long march. Do you remember what blubber is? That's what keeps them warm. Well, we'll say like when we might be blubbering, right? For the emperor penguins, getting to their nesting ground is hard work. They live in Antarctica, the coldest place on Earth. Emperor penguins nest much farther from the ocean than other penguins. They have to march for days or nights through the snow and wind. After laying her eggs, the female gives it to the male. He will keep it warm under a flap in his belly. Unlike the other penguins, the male emperor penguin cares for the egg by himself, while the female goes back to the ocean to find food. So the dad takes care of the egg. So there's some dads sitting on the egg. The mother is gone for more than 4 months. Could you imagine? The father huddles with the other male penguins to keep himself and his eggs safe and warm. During this time, the father eats nothing but snow. Wow. Have you ever eaten snow? I'm sure you have. And it's just like ice, right? It doesn't really fill your belly. When mother returns in July, the father quickly goes to the ocean to find food. And by December, the whole family is ready to go. So there's the whole picture. And it says, who is the emperor penguin's favorite relative? Antarctica. There are 17 different species or kinds of penguins, and here are some of them. So we have, let's see, the fairy penguin, the Galapagos, the Snares, the Fiordland, the erect-crested, rockhopper, yellow-eyed, Magellanic, and African. Okay, these are loud ones. They sound like donkeys. And then these ones are the smallest ones. They sing more songs than any other penguins. And I know we think about how birds sing songs, right? But I don't think about, I guess I never really thought about penguins singing songs. Here's a few other ones. We have the macaroni penguin. They're the fastest swimmer. Oh, I'm sorry. No, that's the Gentoo. He's the fastest swimmer. He's very cool looking. Then we've got the royal penguin, the chinstrap penguin, the Adelie penguin, the Humboldt penguin, the king penguin, and of course the largest is the emperor penguin. So they're all different looking penguins. They're mostly the same colors, right? Black and white. Here we have a rockhopper penguin, and he can hop up to 5 feet. Life is not always easy for penguins, but at least they look like they're having fun, right? So we have singing, adults singing to their mates, and chicks sing for their parents, right? Sledding, penguins can speed down icy hills on their feet and bellies to get somewhere fast. And it says surfing penguins. They surf through the waves. Sometimes they surf right from the water up onto the land. And it says, what do you call a penguin who surfs? A hang-ten-guin. So that is our book on penguins. If you need to pause the video and go get a drink of water or take a break, you can. We are going to switch to our writing. So I'm going to share my screen. Hold on a second. Okay, so we have, this is something we do usually when we are reading our nonfiction book. We do it on the board where I write can, have, and are. So I have a little sort here to make it a little easier. So I am going to, you don't have this activity. This is just to help us with our writing. So I'm going to put the glue down and we're going to figure out where stuff goes. And then you can think of some other stuff from the book that we read. So penguins can lay eggs, right? I have this one, lay eggs. Black and white is my next one. So that one is going to be penguins are black and white, right? Birds. Penguins are birds, right? Waddle. You think of where that would go? Penguins can waddle. That's kind of like, you've seen a penguin. Well, I think when I read you the poem for this week on Thursday when we were here, that part was in there and we were waddling. Eat fish. Penguins can eat fish, right? All right, beaks. Penguins have beaks. Webbed feet. Penguins have webbed feet. Penguins are fast swimmers. Remember we read they can swim up to 15 miles an hour. Waterproof feathers. Penguins have waterproof feathers. Can you think of some other things that we learned from the book? Like penguins have chicks, right? Or penguins have barbed tongues. Remember that? Those are other things you could write if you wanted. Now I have, if you can see this paper that I am going to post. I'll post it. If your parents have a printer, they can print it out. I'm also going to stick it outside the doors where we do pickup. if later in the afternoon when the snow has melted more, if mom and dad feel comfortable coming to the school and they'd rather grab it because they don't have a way to print it or they don't want to print it, or if that doesn't work for you, you can just spend a few minutes talking to mom and dad about some facts that you've learned about penguins today. Like one thing they can do, one thing they have, and one thing they are. Because remember, we use these facts when we do the writing. So here is the front of the paper, if you decide to do the paper, and you're just going to draw a penguin here. And you can trace, sometimes you guys like to trace through the one that's on the other side. You can do that if you want, or you can just try drawing a simple one. Does not have to be anything fancy. If you want to copy mine, you can. If you want to draw your own a different way, that's fine too. Remember, they're black and white. And they've got, remember their feet, they've got their webbed feet. And what do they have that helps them swim? Do you remember? They have those stiff, strong flippers. So there's my penguin. I'm going to write my name at the bottom. You can write your name there. And then I'm going to flip it open. So I think the picture's a little different if your parents print it out because the curriculum had updated and it's a different looking picture, but it's the same thing. So the bill, do you remember what the bill is? That's like the beak. That's another word for their beak. So we're going to write bill right there. Eyes, that one's pointing to the eyes. And if you want to cross these words out as you go, you can. Webbed feet, right here. Flippers. Remember, those are what they use to swim with. Feathers. You remember about the feathers? They keep them warm and they keep the water out. So that's really cool. They have special feathers. Okay, so once you've filled that out, we're going to flip to this side and we're going to use our can, have, and are to write our sentences. So, like I said, if you want to use the same exact ones that we just did a minute ago here, mom or dad could go back to that part of the video and pause it, and you could pick one. Penguins can lay eggs. Penguins can waddle. Penguins can eat fish. Or you can think of your own. Penguins can get the salt out of their water and drink it. Remember when we read about that? So I'm going to pick one of those. Penguins. And here, if you're using this stuff and you're copying it, then you can just copy the words. If you want to sound them out yourself, you can do that. Or if you're thinking of your own sentence, you can have mom and dad help you. So I'm going to put my space, can, and I'm just going to do lay eggs. Penguins can lay, make sure you're using your spacing, eggs. And what goes at the end of my sentence? A period. Next, I'm going to pick have. Penguins have beaks. Penguins have webbed feet. Penguins have waterproof feathers. Or you could think of something different if you want. So I'm going to do penguins have, make sure you put your capital letter too when you're doing your writing, okay? Penguins have webbed feet. I'm using my spaces. I'm going to make sure that I put my period at the end. What do we have last? Penguins are black and white. Penguins are birds. Penguins are fast swimmers. So pick one of those. Penguins are fast swimmers. Period. Then, I'm sorry, that wasn't showing. At the top here, you have a space where you can draw your penguin. So let's see, I'm gonna draw my water. And my black crayon, because penguins are black and white, right? And do you guys remember what it's called when they jump out of the water? Remember it said porpoising, like a dolphin's a porpoise? So let's see, here's his eyes. Maybe he's happy. He's got his arms out. I'm gonna get his, draw his bill or beak and some webbed feet. And there's my picture. And you can do yours however you want. I hope you learned some good facts about penguins. We're going to learn more throughout this week. We're going to read a lot of other penguin books as well. So let me know if you have any questions with that. And remember, if you don't have a printer and you don't want to print it, I will put the stuff outside the door in case mom and dad want to come get it later when it's warmer and the roads aren't bad. Or you could just do it on a plain piece of paper if you want. Mom has lined paper. It does not have to be this booklet. This booklet has the picture in it with the labeling, but we're going to be doing more stuff with penguins throughout this week. Okay. All right. I miss you guys.